halls of Castle Weasel we stand strong. Brave knights and adventurers sing our song.
With courage in our hearts we'll build anew. The Wolflands will be free when we are through.
This is Castle Weasel, once a huge ruined pile, home of a whole family of giant weasels. The Steiner brothers wiped them out, went home, told their family about it. Their eldest brother, Roger Steiner, in honor of them, in memory of them, maybe we name these 4 square towers after the 4 OG Steiner brothers. He assembled, his family gave him enough money to go assemble a small army to march out, reclaim this, an army of craftsmen, an army of soldiers, and we are colonizing the Wolflands. This is in the near scrublands, which looks a little bit of something like this. And if we zoom out, so these hexes, again, 1 mile. If we zoom out, the small hexes are 4 miles. The large red hex is 24 miles. This is where Castle Weasel is. Just a short walk, about a half, well, it's 4 miles. So at 4 miles, it's about an hour walk. A brisk walk. It's an hour to Long Lake. And Long Lake is located here in the Wolflands. Let me zoom in on that. There we go. See, we're right here in the near scrubland. It's part of the Deadwood, and we're trying to reclaim it. It was once part of this larger band of woods. I guess the prevailing wind is probably this way. And this is, oh no, I know this is all, there's a bunch of like frost elves that live up here. So we generated this whole map, took a look around and said, where would we most want to adventure? We could have started up here at the Hovel on the Moor, or maybe up here at Janbog or Konisborough, but instead we chose Corvusberg. We did this a couple of years ago. We've been playing this whole campaign at about 1-to-1 time, taking little breaks from time to time, a few months here, a few months there. It's fine. So here we go. We have a little tenuous umbilical cord, 3 days to Harrington. That is civilization. All right, so now we got the stage set. What about things back in the local territory? Well, we're just trying to clear these first 7 square miles, right? Each of these hexes is 1 square mile. If we can clear those, then we'll call this campaign a success. Today is May 30th on your calendar, at least the day that this video goes live. You can check the records here, which means that Castle Weasel is going to be completed being refurbished on June 1st. That is a mere 2 days away. And now, of course, in our world, Memorial Day is in 2 days on June 1st. So we're going to take June 1st off, and we are going to celebrate Memorial Day here in Castle Weasel. What will one day wind up being like Steinerberg. Also, just so happens that June 1st, the next day, is the Feast of St. Justin. Thank you to Mr. Peer, one of the commenters in our last video, who pointed that out to me. And by the way, I took it on myself to look it up. St. Justin is the patron saint. You're not going to believe this. How appropriate are things? Serendipity knows no limits. St. Justin the Martyr, he's the patron saint of lecturers. So as you listen to me, solo play and babble at you for 30 to 45 minutes every Saturday when we publish these, maybe we should change this to the joy of patron saintage. Speaking of patronage, we are going to take I should also point out Pink Phantom, he corrected one little thing for me. Our army right now stands at 150 strong, and I had made some chin music about leveling up our henchies, not our henchmen, our hirelings. So if I can find it, here's our current roster and like the costs. And so in AD&D, when you build yourself a war band, and AD&D, somebody had asked, well, if I wanted to play out kind of that large scale, small scale campaign where I've got different armies marching across the map, would you recommend AD&D or Chainmail? Now, of course, Chainmail has 1-to-1 combat in it in the fantasy supplement, and it works great. I've played it here on the channel. And if I had to recommend, I would probably say both. In point of fact, they're the same game. They are just 2 different dialects of the same language, so you can't go wrong. There's no bad choice from those 2. I would recommend, if you're going to do that, maybe pick up the Old Lords of Wonder and Ruin. It's by a digital online friend of mine. It's a very streamlined process of Chainmail. It lays everything out. It's the best. It's the single best translation of Chainmail from High Gygaxian to kind of like it's like the Novus Ordo, if you will, of Chainmail. And I shouldn't say that. I mean that as a compliment. Okay. And boy, it just didn't come out that way when I referred, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So point being, if I get off my little diatribe there, I got 150 guys. And Pink Phantom, we'll circle back around to that. I said, oh, you get in AD&D, your captain, I have a 5th level captain, he can command 50 guys. No, and I was wrong. He can actually command 20 guys. So that means I can actually command 100 heavy foot, and I don't need a first lieutenant. Now I have a first lieutenant because this first lieutenant with a level 2, so I have one level 2 lieutenant. So I think he's probably actually a second lieutenant, right? First lieutenant would be a level 3. Anyway, point is he can add, each of these lieutenants adds 20 dudes to your roster. And your 5th level guy, your 5th level captain can command 5 lieutenants. So if you have 5 second level lieutenants, then that means you can add 100 guys to your roster, which means I can get up to 200 guys. Now, if I have 3rd level lieutenants, I can add 30 guys to my roster. So 5 3rd level lieutenants will allow me to expand my force to 150. Add that's in addition to the captain commanding his 100 guys, right? So let me just run the numbers here. If I have 100 under my captain and 150 under my lieutenants, that means I can have 250 altogether. Well, okay, that's great. But, all my lieutenants are 2nd level. I said, well, I'll just level them up. And Pink Phantom said, hey, you can't do that. Check the rules, dum-dum. He was nicer than that, but that's how he made me feel. But I'm also a very sensitive soul. I'm a very gentle soul. That's part of why we keep the comments so clean. I thought, oh, okay, yeah, that's true. I can't just level these guys up. Instead, what I can do is fire them, keep all the equipment that they requisitioned, and just hire a 3rd level who, literally the only difference is I erase this number, and then my numbers are the same. And these guys don't even have names. They're like cogs. So aside from adding a little bit of flavor by adopting the American tradition of Memorial Day, hanging poppies on the wall, the poppies are really more of a British thing. I shouldn't say British. It's really more of a Commonwealth thing. But you see it all the time here in the United States because, after all, we love you, Dad. So, point being, technically right, and which is the best kind of right. However, if I need more guys, if I run out once I get my extra 30 heavy foot, then I'll just upgrade these guys to 3rd level. Now, you can, however you justify that in your mind is up to you. In keeping with the spirit and letter of the rules, we will justify it by saying, yeah, I guess we had these guys either aged out. Maybe what we do to give ourselves the plus minus is we say, oh, these lieutenants, we'll wait until the end of their tour. And then they decide to go home. They cash out. And some of the little bit of extra money, I always spend a little extra on my military and my workers. And part of that is because of all the little things like that, the little morale boost, the little plus ultra we like to do for our workers. This is not a corporation. This is a fiefdom. We are a good ruler. We are father to all of our children, and we consider our citizens children. So we do our best not to exploit them. And this is in breaking with the American tradition, by the way, at least the American tradition of the last since 1965. We want to take care of them. So we spend a little bit extra and we take good care of them. And we have a day of somber feasting on St. Justin's, the day before. Point being, when I resume my campaign, it's not going to be May 30th as it shows on your calendar. It's not going to be May 31st. That's the Lord's Day. It's a holy day of obligation. It's not even going to be Today's the 30th, the 31st. Wait, Memorial Day is not on June 1st. I should probably check my calendar, make sure I get these dates right. But we pause the video to check the rules. Sometimes we have to pause the video to check the calendar. I'm recording this the weekend before Memorial Day. Yeah, I go a little bit ahead. It's fine. So I have Memorial Day on the brain, and that's why I was getting a little confused. May 26th is when we celebrate this year here in the United States of Yankeedom. Sorry to my Southern bros. Point being, we took that day off. Does that push the end of the construction of Castle Weasel to June 2nd? No, not necessarily, right? These are the whole thing is fairly vague. We're not worried about the details of, are there only 4 work days in this week? Like, generally speaking, it's going to take 4 months to rebuild. I think it was 2 months to rebuild this tower here. And so I have it completed on June 1st, and that's going to be our big celebration. What does it mean completed? We lay the last brick. We have a little ceremony. name it after one of the fallen. And so it's all kind of fallen together. And I'm inspired to name it after the fallen because I'm recording this video before Memorial Day. And this is the way that you can kind of tweak the calendar as you need to. Ultimately, I've spent the last 10 minutes talking about this stuff. One, to give proper credit to the boys in the comment section for keeping me honest. And two, just to let you guys know that the real world is highly inspirational. The more your campaign world draws from the real world, the more real it will feel, and the more you can get away with in terms of, dragons and dungeons, and perhaps both. The other thing I should point out, it is in the morning where I am, out here in paradise, and so you may wind up hearing the cock crow, and that reminds me that we now, as of June 1st, because we have a safe base of operations, have the first rugged individualists showing up to help us colonize these hexes. We have a couple of farmers getting an early jump on things, and they'll slowly start to trickle in, particularly as we have upgraded our caravan defense from 10 to 20 medium horse. That should help us stay safe as we go back and forth. Now, we paused for a month or two while we were repairing the tower to see what happens when the caravan goes back and forth. They got attacked by large ogres. You've seen that. It took us 3 weeks to resolve basically a 1-day combat. So now I'm returning my focus. We've explored that. And so now I'm returning my focus to exploring these hexes. And as with last time, we're going to roll. We've got 7 days of exploration. That's business days, Monday through Friday, maybe Saturday. Don't have to get too lost in the high grasses on that. On June 2nd, we're going to go out and we're going to explore. We're going to go down to the stuff that we've already explored, and we're going to explore this, and then we're just going to start working our way around. We'll try to push the boundary of what we're claiming from chaos out a couple of 100 yards. And for each one of these corners, right, again, I'm going to roll 7 times per hex. We have to make a couple of rolls. One, we're going to roll to see what the terrain is, and then we roll to see if there's any encounters. And to keep things simple, I tend to go, let's just check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this time. And really we want to, if you take a look at the what do you call it? The medium scale map. This is the route that we take along Long Lake. So maybe we want to try to clear. See, we do go to the northeast. So maybe I take it back. Maybe we want to go ahead and explore these 3 hexes, because that means that when we come up this way, so this takes you down to Long Lake, and this is the direct route to get around Long Lake. So if we explore over here, and we may, because as you see, there's plains up here, we may start rolling on the plains. The plains don't stop at this line. This isn't the Well of Tears, I think. What was that book called? The Book of Tears? A lot of weird stuff in that book, but there were individual hexes that you had to push through a membrane to get to the next. That's not the case here. This is the real world. The plains don't stop at the line. Maybe they stop here. So maybe we're justified in breaking up, and maybe that's why Castle Weasel was right here, because it was right on the edge where you are a half a mile walk to. This is the only meadow we have, and it's a full mile away. So if there's a meadow over here, this may be a good place for our farmers to graze their livestock. I don't know. There's a village built here for a reason. Obviously, the little running stream here takes you down to Watery Tart Pond. But that's enough talking. Let's start rolling some dice, huh? And we'll take a look at the charts, and we'll start here and just work our way up, and maybe we'll just kind of spiral around that way. And that may be a full 2 weeks of exploration. And at 7 days, that's a week and a half. At 2 weeks to explore each of these hexes, I still have 2, 4, 6, 8. I still have 2 months of exploring. So this is a really slow process. Take your time. It's a fine meal. We're not doing the kind of garbage junk food railroady adventures that are typical around here. This is a 7-course meal. We are savoring each individual course in turn. Now, let's eat some exploration. We have Scrub. This is what we'll be rolling on for these first 2 hexes. And I'm going to go a little bit out of sequence. I'm going to roll for the terrain type on each of those. So the first hex, I get a 13, and then I get a 14. And that means we're going to have forest and rough, with the forest having a 1 in 10 chance of also having hills. So we have hilly forest. June 2nd, June 3rd. So Badlands, the rough in this case means Badlands, and I'm not entirely sure what that means This is really gnarly, nasty land. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this a 2 in 10 chance of encounters. Normally, it's 1 in 10. So for the first hilly woods on a 1, no. And do we have any encounters here in the Badlands? On a 1 or a 2, we do not. So we have now successfully explored this whole hex. Remember, 1 in 10 chance means that every hex and a half you should get an encounter. We got 2 over here. So out of the 14 that we've explored so far, we've had 2 encounters, trolls and ogres. That means we're a little ahead of schedule, just to kind of, on average, run the numbers. So we've come up through the Badlands on the 3rd, and now on the 4th and the 5th. So that would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And that'll be the end of the week. So we're going to explore this corner and this corner. And again, I'm just going to roll twice. Going a little bit out of sequence, we get a 5 and a 7, which means we're going to get scrub and scrub. So this is exactly what you'd expect. Scrub and scrub. And oh, I forgot I was going to roll on the plains dice. So if we were rolling on the plains dice, then those 2 hexes would be plains. So maybe for the other 5. But that brings us to the end of the week. Oh, no, it doesn't, because we have to see if we get any fun time. And before I roll for these encounters, I should have pointed this out before. On the most important piece of paper that I have, the most important piece of paper you have in any game is going to be a blank piece of paper. So the week of 5/31, that's when this video goes live, of course. I'm taking 10 light. These guys are going to go out ahead of the party. These are fulfilling the role of the thief. These guys are lightly armed. They've got bows. They're very quick on their feet. So when they encounter something, they can run back to the main body, which consists of 20 heavy foot, 10 archers, and 10 medium horse. So we are ready for any 50 guys should be able to at least delay whatever we run into. We get a 6, and then in the near one, we get another encounter. So this is just Murderer's Alley right here. This scrub is going to have an encounter, and we have a couple of days to deal with that. So we're coming around this way. And unfortunately, our encounter is going to be between us and the castle. We may need to fight our way through. All right. So let me just make a note here. We said that was the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. On June 5th, we have an encounter. And that encounter is going to be with rolling percentile on the uninhabited, a 40 means we're going to run into, and watch this, guys. I'm going to use the ruler. I'm going to get it right this time. Fortunately, I chose the right page all the way down. In the scrublands, we have lions. Oh, that's not too bad. Those lions are prowling in the scrublands, and we're going to need our handy-dandy monster manual, which I have conveniently enough flagged the proper page for lions. And if we zoom on in down here, it says there are 2 to 12 of them, but maybe not the 2 to 12 you're thinking of. We're going to go with just the standard lions, and they have, the numbers are listed up here. The typical pride is 1 to 3 males and 1 to 9 females. So there's your 2 to 9, all right? If encountered in their lair, well, are they in their lair? It says the percentage chance is 25, and I have my percentile dice here, so we'll roll outside the box. 24%. So this is their lair. Treasure type, this is the big one. Oh, treasure type, they don't have any treasure. So we just have to fight our way through these lions or scare them, chase them off. And really that means hunt them down, find their lair. And this is the other reason we have the Lightfoot, because they're kind of semi-rangers. They're like the 0 level version of rangers in my book. How many males do we have? We're going to roll a d6 divided by 2. So it's just 1 male. And then 1 to 9 females. I'm going to roll a d10 on a result of a 0. I'll re-roll. So 4. So there's only 5 lions. And how tough are these guys? 5 hit. Oh my. Well, these guys are not pushovers at all. But these guys are tougher than ogres. All right, now I'm getting a little concerned here. We have an encounter with 1 male and 4 females. There are also 1d10 cubs. Maybe let's see how many there are. There's 8 cubs. Now, they don't fight, but we may be able to capture those, domesticate them, or maybe sell them on the market. Send back our next wagon train has already left. It probably left on the 2nd, so we might have to wait a couple of weeks and send like a month-old lions. And maybe that's the whole point of this, is that if we send those lions back, it's a nice, solid proof positive. If we start running low on cash, we're going to start needing to look for excuses for cash infusions. So if we send some lions back to the boys in Harrington, maybe they'll be so impressed they'll buy them at a fair market value or give us a nice reward because we're just opening up this path for more people to come. Or just, as trophies. We'll probably mount some in the... I didn't talk about that yet. But somewhere here in Castle Weasel is the study of Roger Steiner. And he's going to want to start putting his trophies in there, right? Like the classic English gentleman explorer. I have assumed all we ever talk about is building this tower because it keeps us safe from the critters. But I assume as we're refurbishing this may be his quarters right there on the first floor, that we're also bringing in carpets and light tapestries. This is not purely functional. People have to live here, and we have to display some ostentatiousness so that when the villagers come visit us, they understand that we've got the money, we're in charge, and just kind of awe them into subservience. Little low-key, non-violent, power play there, which is fine. Looking at our prospects, I think we're going to be okay. Next week, we'll play out this fight. This is 25 hit dice worth of monsters, and I've got 50 hit dice worth of people. So we outnumber these lions 2-1. And I think we're going to be okay. We may need to send, I think I have enough guys. We'll set up a line of some sort. We may have to go 2-1 for our guys, which means we'll use 5 light infantry figures that each have 2 hits. And then, so that way I've got 5 horses, 5 archers, 10 spearmen, and 5, lightly armed guys. And that way we're going to have, which was that, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 versus 5. And whatever casualties we suffer, and we'll have to pay to replace. So that's where selling the lion carcasses, having them taxidermied, or maybe we even catch 1 or 2. Or maybe we only have to kill 2 of these to chase the rest off. Whatever. The point is, once we get rid of these lions who are living here in the scrubland, and then I'm going to roll on plains, which makes sense. They retreat to the rocks, but they probably were down here hunting and picking off whatever herd animals lived in the area. There's another 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll color these with like the rest by the time you see this next video next week. I hope you tune in when I won't go through the whole history, but I'll show this. And then we'll just dive right into a nice little miniature war game developed organically through the process of exploration. And by the way, with our 3rd encounter in 17, we're now 1 encounter ahead of the curve, which is exactly what we want. We want challenges and we want encounters. What I'm doing next is kind of the purpose of the exercise. What happens next? A little bit of action. We've had, the ebb and flow. We've had our troughs, not a lot going on, like an action movie. And now we've got a fight scene, or we will next week. Till then, I'm praying for you.